Hello and welcome back to another Imperator Rome developer diary, and today we are looking at the patch notes for the Archimedes update to the game. So how about we just get right into those. So, good day all, with a mere day to go before the release of 1.4 Archimedes and Magna Graecia. We have an extensive version of tomorrow's patch notes, and they're here for your perusal. It is as usual, worth noting that save games from previous versions of Imperator will not be compatible with 1.4. So, one thing I've done is actually I've tested this. So actually, let me, instead of having this screen open, if I go single player and load, say, I don't know, the community multiplayer that I played yesterday. If we load this, we'll see exactly what the changes are if you try and load, well, for starters, it can straight up just crash. That's not always the case. I will say that's not always the case. I did actually load up before a what's called words. Words are great when you can use them properly. I loaded up the Dual Emperors game, and that actually did load, but the problem was it didn't have any of the new deities. It didn't have any of the new religion mechanics. Like, you couldn't use religion at all as a mechanic. So I would recommend against trying it at all. You're not going to have a good time. But if you want to roll back, that's also pretty easy. If you just right-click on your Imperator Rome, click Properties, go to Betas. Then if you don't have the game open at the time, you can click this drop-down box and choose 1.3. So that would be how you do that. So let's just go into the patch notes and see what is new and what we can expect from tomorrow. So we've got Apotheosis. Living and deceased rulers can now be deified and worshipped as gods. This comes at a cost of political influence and requires high popularity and family prestige. Deification requires selecting an existing deity that your character will assume the attributes and ceremonies of, as well as passive and active bonuses. Invoking an omen of a deified character will result in a powerful effect that god did not provide, the strength of which can often be based on the skills or attributes of the deified character. Things like in my Judea campaign, me getting an extra provincial investment, things like having a bunch of pops convert to your culture, some cash being deposited in your bank account, all this kind of good shit. And it's actually really, really quite fun to find all of these different bonuses that you can get. And there's something like 300 different deities in the game, all having somewhat unique extra bonuses, so it's going to be fun to try and find all of the very interesting and powerful ones. So we got 4 new mission trees for Sparta and the Peloponnesian League, 4 mission trees for Syracuse, for Athens, 30 Greek sacred treasures have been placed in countries and holy sites around the Greek world, lovely. 12 new deities local to Athens, Sparta, Syracuse, with special artwork. We can now ostracize as Athens. I think you know my opinion on how that works by now. I'm not a massive fan of the way this works. It just doesn't. Sparta has 2 different provincial investments. We've gone over that before. Creating mercenary states for Syracuse. We've seen that before. We have 3 new Hellenistic-themed music tracks, which are pretty cool. I like it. We got new models for Athens, Sparta, Syracuse, and Crete. New fleet models for the same. New port model for Greek-cultured countries around the world. So let's actually just quickly check out that new graphic, because I'm not actually sure if I've seen it yet. Let's just load up the game first. We have some flavor decision for owners of significant provinces in the Greek world. I think these are things like when you own Pella and you get some... No, this is not that. This is not that at all. I'm lying out of my teeth. But anyway, first off, let's check the original interesting looking ports. Austria has this like circly doodad, and if we have a look at the Greek ones, they have... I mean, it's a little bit different. It looks like, it's a bit different. It's nice, a bit more differentiation. But having a look at those things, I know Macedon has one. if you, for example, with decisions, if you own, for example, Thasos, and you do, you can expand the Thasos gold mines. So you get some slaves moving from Pella to Thasos, resource production goes up, slaves needed for local surplus goes down, pop cap goes up, and it costs you a little bit of money. And that's for Thasos. There are different ones around the world that you can find. So I'm not sure how many there are, but there's a number of them. State Pantheon Religion has been overhauled. Instead of omens are invoked periodically. Each country now has a state pantheon of 4 primary deities that can choose themselves among all the deities worshipped by their population, even those not of the state religion. Each deity will provide plus 5% happiness for pops from its associated religion, as well as passive benefits specific to that deity. Lovely. As before, each deity also has an omen that gives a larger temporary boost to the country. Rare personified deities such as Alexander the Great or Zoroaster also give second immediate effects when worshipped. Their character page can also be accessed in the game. We probably should have chosen Egypt to look at that, so let's again go into new game. So it's worth having a look at these things, because I know Alexander the Great will have a special thing with it being a deified ruler. He'll have a specific special extra bonus. So if you have a look at the omen, we've got Alexander the Great here, and if we click him, well, for starters, we get morale of armies for having him in our pantheon. If we use his omen, we get ruler popularity gain, and we also get a couple of Macedonian freemen. Only 2. Could it be better? Could it be worse? It's fine. It's fine. It's not the strongest one that I've seen. I definitely think that the one for Moses that you get as Judea for having an extra provincial investment, I think that's definitely worth quite a lot more. But yeah, it's interesting. So what Egypt is doing at the start of the game is they have 3 Kemetic dudes in their pantheon and 1 Hellenic, and that keeps the Kemetic pops a little bit happier. However, if you are trying to, for example, convert said pops, mismatching pantheon deity, negative 60%. It's negative 20 per deity that isn't, your primary. So if you want to convert at all, you're going to want a full pantheon of your primary culture. And I don't think that's really arguable. You're just gonna want it. You're just gonna want it. So that is that. Moving back onto the dev diary. Holy sites. Each deity in the game can also have 1 holy site. Holy sites exist in territories around the map. Apart from some local benefits, they also provide a boost to the effectiveness of their associated deity if a country owns their holy site. So you're going to want to get your holy sites. And the thing is, all you need to do is put your army over a holy site, and you can, for I think 2 aggressive expansion, burn it down. You then get all of the treasures that are in that holy site, and the holy site is destroyed. You can then erect that holy site in your own country if you so desire. You can also, if we have a look, we've got Alexandria here. Say we didn't want to venerate Alexander the Great anymore. Doesn't matter that this is our capital, it's our country, it's our primary religion. Nah, it's gone. Destruction of the Temple of Alexander the Great. It's gone. It's gone. Alexander's gone. So looking now, Alexander the Great has no holy site. There we go. Back to the dev diary then. So, holy treasures are objects that can be placed on altars in holy sites, which will benefit the entire province which the holy site belongs. How many altars a holy site has depends on the type of territory. Settlement has 1 altar, city has 2, metropolis will have 3. There are about 100 treasures spread around the holy sites of the world as part of the Archimedes update. So collecting the important ones is going to be good, but then again, you're only ever going to be able to have 12 total. And that is if you get, 4 metropolises on the holy sites, which can be a little bit of a challenge. Holy sites can be desecrated by their owner or a visiting army in control of the territory, so you can't just, get some military access and do it then. You actually have to be at war with them. Desecrating a holy site will transfer all of its treasures to the country performing the desecration. Desecration also causes other countries in the same religion group as their desecrated deity to lose opinion of the offender, but don't let it stop you, because wolves aren't concerned with the opinions of sheep, naturally. Since Judaism is monotheistic, it does not have a state pantheon. Instead, it will compose of a group of 4 honored dead prophets of the faith. These work similar to deities in some respects, but give more powerful benefits when activated, while also being possible to use more rarely. Monotheistic countries also cannot honor a deity from a different religion. They're limited to only their prophets. And you can see that in action in my Judea campaign. You can now specify trade goods for which you will automatically decline all requests in the trade view. And I mean, we've seen this before already, but it's basically just here. It's like, oh, I don't want anyone to ask me for grain or for vegetables or for livestock or for fish. You leave my food the fuck alone. And again, people said as soon as they saw this that it would be nice to have it per province as well. That would be really nice. I want to be able to click here and then boom, you're no longer able to ask for salt from specifically Western Delta. I still think that would be a better system than the one we've got, but certainly this is an improvement over the previous system, for sure. I just wish it was a little bit more, honestly. You can now configure AI settings that will dictate what the AI can and cannot do if you leave a game. Yeah, massively useful. And these are the settings that you are able to do. Allow demolished buildings. Fuck no. Just turn that immediately off. Just fuck off with that. Allow wars. No, you don't want to do that. Keep treaties. Yes. Answer call to arms, yes. Handle budget, yes. Trade, yes. Actually, trade, no. Fuck you. Assign commanders, yeah, I suppose. Take decisions, probably, yes. Buy inventions, no, because you're trash at it. Disband units, no. Buy military traditions, no. Change government policies, no. Construct buildings, probably not. And that's basically what I would recommend if you're involved in multiplayer at all. Continue button. When the game end date is reached, you can now choose to continue playing. That's just nice. It's cool. It's good. Holdings no longer stop the promotion of slaves. Instead, there's a new button to halt slave promotion in a territory at a cost of slave happiness. Wolves, sheep, yada yada. I actually have not seen that button. Where is said button? Where is said button? Is it in here? Does it say where it is? There's now a button to halt slave promotion in a territory at a cost of slave happiness. Where is the button? I need to know the location of the button. Ah, it's right there. It's negative 25 happiness. That's actually fairly significant. Honestly, that's not a small amount. It's not a small amount of slave happiness. Character loyalty has been changed away from a system of drift over time instead of function as a sum of known modifiers. Right, now this was something when they said in the dev diary, I was like, oh, I really like the idea of things moving places over time. It's sort of like the way that Imperator was moving in. The direction they were going in was, instead of instant change, it was a gradual push things in the right direction. So when I was originally shown that, you know, character loyalty was going to be changed to an instant system, I thought, no, that's bad. That's not a good change. However, now I've played with it and I have experienced it, and it works way better. It just does work better. You actually have to actively give a shit now about loyalty, which is a big change to what it was previously. So I was wrong. And instead of dwelling on why I was wrong and the fact that I was wrong, let's just move on. So, game balance. Freemen now give a bit of tax income. Slaves give less. Slaves still give 90% more. Or freemen give you 1/9 of what a slave does. If you have the same amount of freemen as slaves, then you will get 9 times more out of the slaves when it comes to taxes. Base happiness for slaves is 90%. Base happiness for tribesmen is 80%. Lovely stuff. Actually, this also depends on happiness as well. So don't take those numbers as like 100% accurate. Like, it always depends on your happiness. Air support now depends on popularity and traits as well as stats. Martial and charisma stats are now worth more than finesse and zeal for supporters. Imprisoning head of family now always requires a trial and risking a civil war. I would not recommend this. You are going to piss off your heads of family and they will cause a civil war, and heads of family are way more dangerous than they used to be. You need to keep these guys either on a tight leash or make them your best friend, because otherwise you're going to be in a world of hurt. All sorts of loyalty in the entire game has been rebalanced as part of the rework, obviously. Character will always take their holdings with them into a civil war. Yeah, that'll result in, less weird borders when it comes to civil wars. They're like, holdings are clumped together, and so you'll have clumps of, land that rise in civil war against you, which is pretty cool. Trials are no longer blocked by a character having 40 or more power base. Instead, they'll always be possible if the base chance is above 1%. Cool, good. Prescribed character interaction can now only be used on imprisoned head of family to confiscate all holdings of the family. They'll fall from grace and no longer be considered a great family of your country. I love this. It's fantastic. So if you have a family that you really don't like anymore, take them to trial, risk the civil war, and then prescribe them. And now you can basically say you're no longer a great family. Fuck off. It's great. Harder to take a co-ruler to trial, makes sense. Persuade character interaction now replaces bribe if your ruler has orator or silver-tongued. Bribe and persuade now cost political influence in addition to any other effects like, money. Only heads of family will purchase holdings, though any character can acquire them through schemes or events or me giving them. Enticing governors now require that a governor has at least one state at low state loyalty bordering the enticing country. Don't like this change. I think, I thought enticing governors worked fairly well. The AI was a bit too good at either replacing or bribing governors that were losing loyalty. So I don't think it really needed nerfing, but maybe with the change to loyalty, it's a bit easier to find governors with low loyalty. I don't think... enticing governors was something that you got so rarely, maybe once a campaign if you were lucky. And I just don't think it needed a nerf like this, honestly. But, I don't know. I've not managed to do it in the new patch, so I don't know. Religious conversion is now less quick in general to account for being able to placate pops by honoring their gods. We can actually see the base conversion rate is now down to 0.6. I can't actually remember what it was originally, honestly. I don't know. Is it actually? No, it wasn't 0.6. It was... I don't know. You can do the math on all of that garbage there. I don't know. It's different, is what I'm saying. It's different. It is different. It's gone down. Elephants now have a maneuver of 0, meaning they can only target opposing units directly in front of themselves. The intent here is to simulate that elephants were largely one-dimensional battering rams on the battlefield with enormous striking power but limited tactical maneuverability. Thing is, if you have enough elephants, then it doesn't matter, because combat width is still a thing, and if you have enough elephants to cover the combat width, they're just going to go forwards, and it doesn't matter about their flanking. There is no flanking if you fill the combat width. So, yeah, a bit awkward. It would be nice to see things like elephants can now no longer be classified as flanking units, and things like your combat width does not account for your flanking. So if you do put elephants in your armies and have only elephants, they will always be flanked. Like, I would love that. Like, if somebody has, heavy infantry and horse archers, those horse archers will be flanking the elephants regardless of if the elephants have, 100 extra, which would be pretty cool. And obviously the horse archers would move in once the heavy infantry inevitably dies. So it wouldn't be a case of the horse archers just pepper infinitely and the elephants can't do anything about it. Megapolyremes have the same thing. They can only fight the thing in front of them. Fixed a number of bugs in the combat deployment and also added new rules to ensure more desirable deployment outcomes. Supply trains will only ever join battle once all other units on their side are depleted. What this basically means is once you've finished a battle, then the supply trains will join, and then you can fight them instead of, supply trains joining mid-battle, like being reinforcements on the front lines, which fucked me right off. So that's no longer the case, which is great. Non-flank units now reinforce the center from behind instead of from the flanks. Primary units deployed first and secondary units deployed second. Flank units still reinforce the flanks. Designated flank units are always preferred to reinforce if available. Basically changing the way that combat is done. It's not going to affect you massively. Combat is not hugely changed in this regard, but it's just tweaks, basically, is what I would say. The only big difference is the way that the supply trains really work. If you manage to see this system and, use this to your advantage, or it's ruining a strategy that you previously had, I mean, you know the numbers more than I do, that's for damn sure. The base speed for a tick sieging is now 25 days instead of 30 days. The justification given for this is that the addition of food and, there being more defensiveness if your fort has a lot of food stockpiled in the province gave a big advantage to the defenders. Personally, I think food gave a bigger advantage to the attackers, so I don't really see the need for this, other than sieges are kind of boring, so getting them over quickly is better. But other than that, I don't buy the justification, but I'm okay with the outcome, if that makes sense. Mercenaries now cost gold to recruit instead of military experience, which is another pretty massive change, actually, that I'm not sure I agree with, because military experience was one of those things that really prevented the AI from just buying all of the mercs, because they'd run out of military experience and they couldn't get more. Now, I think this might end up with small countries late in the game, the kind city-states with like 12,000 in the bank because they've got nothing else to spend it on. I think they're just going to have more merc spam, honestly. I haven't seen it yet, but that's kind of what I'm thinking might be the case. I hope I'm wrong. Conquered provinces now start with somewhat less loyalty than they used to, because that's what everyone wanted. Increased war exhaustion from battles, though. I do like that. I think that's a good addition, especially as war exhaustion increases your military experience gain rate. So I'm actually really, really happy with this change. I mean, if you're losing battles, or you're losing a lot of men in your battles, of course that's going to increase your war exhaustion for sure. So yeah, good change. AI cares more about strength when agreeing or disagreeing to become a feudatory. I've still never managed to do it diplomatically, so this really doesn't change anything for me. It is what it is. Converting religion now gives a 75% discount on changing deities in a pantheon for a period of time. New gods on sale, limited time offer, while supplies last. Lovely. I don't know what that period of time is, though. High attribute level, only reduce subject opinion by 50. Actually, going back to this, changing your deity is actually just 15 stability, so I don't really see it as that big of a cost, honestly. Anyway, legitimacy no longer affects max loyalty. Thank fuck for that, especially with the new loyalty mechanics. Monarchies default to 100 loyalty as maximum. Lovely. Lowered the zeal requirement for divinity statutes law from 10 to 12. Who actually managed to do this? I've never managed to do that. Never. I've never had a character naturally roll 12 zeal. Hell, I can't even think of any that rolled naturally 10 zeal. Like, I don't know. Only civilized countries can have feudatories. Good. Rival of your ruler now gets a lower wage and will get a reduction of family prestige over time, making rivals something that you actually might want to use. Instead of, oh, I've got a rival, let me just immediately unrival them. Like, Star rating, army size and navy size are slightly smaller. Fine. Diplomacy. The AI could attack subjects of an ally without breaking the alliance. That's now fixed. Good. AI now more likely to accept becoming a client state or feudatory based on the strength of potential overload. We've seen that already. AI should be better at judging when to start another concurrent war to speed up expansion, if at all. Yeah, good. Making the AI better, is especially when, having them expand. It's great. AI now knows they can enforce demands, having fully captured the war goal. Yay! About time. About time. AI now properly checks the balances on changing conditions, leading to fewer suicides. Does it though? I've seen quite a few suicidal charges by the AI in this patch, so I'm not sure. Maybe there could be more done. I don't know. AI isn't able to void the guarantees they committed to, like true bastards they ought to be. There's not very many guarantees around at the start of the game anymore. Since, was it Livy changed it so that Seleucids and Egypt are no longer guarantors of Macedon and Thrace? I don't think I've seen very many guarantees anyway. The AI can probably create trade routes via the action plan. I don't know what the action plan is, but yeah, creating trade routes, good stuff. Additional qualifying criteria before AI decides to send out armies on naval expeditions when a war goal has been contested and can be pathed to. Don't really know what that means, honestly. Just, I guess, the AI is going to be more focused on the war goal rather than fucking off on a boat. Good. Sure. Alright. AI units now dynamically increase search range in case they find too few options or fail to reach their current destination path to. Should result in less indecisiveness and staying in poor locations. Good. AI slightly more interested in pursuing the war goal. Good. Should consider if they have food prior to besieging a non-war goal fort. Good. AI may try to assault if the troop is unavoidably attritioning away due to lack of food and there's nothing else for it to do. Because, come on, you dogs, you want to live forever? I mean, I guess that's fine. I don't really remember a case where I've seen the AI really starving unless I've specifically tried to make that the case. I guess that's good. It's fine. AI tribes can now migrate. Yes, they can. And I think I used to have a save. I fucking deleted it now, haven't I? So, Warband just came out today, and I was clearing up space on my C drive, and I deleted my Macedon campaign to make space for it, and now I don't have it. But yeah, in my Macedon campaign, this entire area was full of migratory tribes, and it was fucking beautiful. It was really, really good. The AI actually knowing how to actually migrate. Oh, love it. AI may deify their ruler to celebrate a large-scale victorious conquest. Yes! Yes, that's awesome. Love it. AI functionality for destroyed buildings. For destroying buildings. They already destroyed buildings previous to this patch, and they were shit at it, so more functionality for deciding, oh, actually, this mountain fort on the border with my rival might be a good idea to keep. You know what? If the AI functions in that way, fine by me. Great stuff. Small animation for when a mission is in progress. Oop, that's not the button I wanted. This one is. I don't think I've seen that one. Matter of Nubia, there we go. Is this in progress now? I don't see the animation. Maybe it's not that. Maybe I'm looking at the wrong place. Oh well, whatever. Doesn't matter. Yeah, more animation's good. Style of building is in a city on the map will now correspond to the dominant culture of the city and will change if the dominant culture changes during the game. That's actually something we could probably see as Egypt. We've got, of course, Greek cities here. We've got the Kemetic cities here, and I think Meroitic cities somewhere in the south. Maybe that one. I'm not sure. But yeah, they will change if the culture changes. It's something that people have been asking for a very, very long time, and now it is the case. Yeah, like here, This would change once it becomes primarily Levantine, Punic. Once this Nuragic shit goes away, then the buildings will change to the Carthaginian style, which is cool. I like it. Enough of that War of Diadochi. But yeah, it's really good to see that be the case. People have been asking for it for a long time. New alternative for sacrificing to the gods for countries that follow religions that would not have sacrificed a pig. Yeah, it's like burning incense, I think, is how I'm going to call it, at least. There's a government map mode, there's a province rank map mode, a naval range map mode, holdings map mode, and more map modes to the in-game lobby. Fantastic. So we can see a couple of them here. Government type, the reddish colors, brown, whatever, different types of monarchies, the green, different types of the green are different types of tribes, and then the blue, of course, is republics, and you can tell the difference between the different types of republics with the color as well, which is nice. Oligarchic versus aristocratic. Here we've got autocratic versus aristocratic, and then we've got migratory versus settled. Then the lightest green here is federated. It's nice. It's just nice. I like it. Tis good. Tis good. Change oh, actually, there's more map modes as well. Territory rank. You know, the light blue is the cities, the brown is the settlements, and then green is for your metropoli. Holdings map mode, and you can see they're all very clumped together, which is good for Civil War stuff. Naval range, I like it, although I think that if you come outside of this naval range, you should be losing ships, like almost guaranteed. Immediately losing ships, because you shouldn't, just don't go out here, basically. So yeah, that's good stuff. Changed modification display for several buildings to actually show a comparable number of effects. Also changes so that its displays are consistent in showing mods in order, first output, then happiness, and other effects such as ratios. What that means is basically with you building buildings, they'll now show, you know, the outputs, results, other results. It's just a bit more readable than it used to be, which is nice. And I'll show you exactly what things will turn out to be. Like, this local citizen desired ratio will go from 43% to 49%, which is a plus 6% change. I mean, it's just good. It's just good, more readable. So, very happy with that. There are 7 new achievements. I already have one of them. I'm going for 2 more soon with the Judea campaign. Actually, only one of those is new, though. But yeah, new achievements. It's good. It's good. Imperial cult now requires that the entire pantheon of your country is composed of deified rulers if you own the Magna content pack, which is cool, especially if some of those deified rulers are named after yourself. Added a formable Epirus and a formable Euboea. Cool, good, fine. Added a large number of new deities around the world, deities that do not correspond to any pre-existing omen. I think there is 300 and something deities in the world. It's fucking awesome. Alexander the Great now exists as a personified deity that can be worshipped by anyone in possession of his body. Love it. Buddha, Mahariva, Alexander, Zoroaster, and all Jewish prophets are now scripted as characters that can be viewed in-game by anyone honoring their respective religion. We could see Alexander the Great if we go into religion here. No, there we go, and we can see his stats. He's a 16, 6, 16, 12. He's got Blood of the Argaians, of course. He's rash, he's ambitious, he's victorious, and he is, of course, brave. And you can see his family as well, including his sister, who is still alive. Cleopatra Argead has kids that are still alive. Neoptolemus Aikade, who is residing in Epirus. So, you know what? You know, he's got the Blood of the Argaians. Maybe you could... You know, if you're playing as Epirus, marry Cadmea, you can have the Blood of the Argaians fairly early, which is pretty cool. Pretty cool indeed. So yeah, just having more of the families in the game is awesome. New event series about hostilities between Diadochi kingdoms, pitting Phrygia against Macedon, Egypt, and the Seleucids. Love it. Fantastic. 9 times out of 10, you're going to see the Fourth War of the Diadochi, and it is great to see. Much improved indeed. Alternative version of the Etruscan Fortune event, which works similarly to the original, but is a country event that can fire on a yearly basis rather than specifically when you conquer something in Sardinia. I haven't actually played as Etruria, so I don't know what that is. Variable that stops main event pulse while mission monthly on it, whatever, I don't know. Added warning to Persian heiress event to inform the player about what they're forsaking. That is if you're playing Heraclea Pontica. Ruler can no longer be adopted. Fine. Checks to ensure physician and patient are not the same person, because that's probably some sort of violation of the Hippocratic Oath. When was Hippocrates? Hippocrates was born when exactly? 370 BC. Okay, so no, he was born in 460 BC and he died in 370. So he's been dead about 63 years. Okay, so Hippocratic Oath is probably already a thing. Added 4 DHEs for 3. I don't actually know what a DHE is. If you know, leave it in the comments. It'd be nice to know what that is. Dynamic heuristic event. I don't fucking know. Added divorce effect and applied it to relevant events. Lovely. Made accidents more likely if physician has less than 4 finesse or is a rival of the patient. This immediately made me think of RimWorld, because of course it did. Made sure Ambracia becomes a provincial as well as country capital when Pyrrhus returns. It was always super annoying when your capital changed via event, that you would have, say, in your capital province, your capital city would be here, and then the capital of the province would be here. It was so annoying. So annoying. I hated that. So having that fixed, yeah, fantastic. Good stuff. Stop city fall events from occurring if the owner is in a civil war. That just basically means you stop sacking your own cities, which is great. Increase the rewards from scientific breakthrough events significantly, and they really have. That is the one where one of your researchers comes to you and says, I've made a scientific breakthrough. Here are a bunch of research points in my category, but we're going to reduce the research rate for everyone else for this amount of time by like 35% or something like that. I think it's now 75 research points instead of the 30 it used to be. So yeah, that is a significant improvement and actually makes it somewhat tempting sometimes. Formation trees for Greek countries in Greece, the Black Sea region, Italy, and the Far West. Lovely. Disable Destroy Latins task for the AI, as it's an alt history scenario for particular strategies and circumstances. I don't think I've seen the Destroy Latins task. It might be a mission, I'm not sure. Fixed an FPS drop for that mission, whatever, cool. Highlighting to Indo-Greek decision, yeah, that's great. Do I actually have that decision as Egypt? Indo-Greek, no we don't, but we can probably find... Oh, you sneaky bastards! They've removed the dev console! Oh, no! I use that so often. That's probably why it's been removed. Oh, assholes. Damn it. I use that so often. Ugh. Filth. Anyway, time task now. Prevent mutually exclusive tasks when in progress. Cool. Stat and tech levels now vary between countries between 0 and 2 to better reflect differences in development already in place in 304 BCE. Countries that start above Tech 0 still have to buy the inventions of the previous tech levels. Cool, fine. Heads of family now start with some holdings in all countries big enough to support that. We've seen that already. Adjust the starting border between the Seleucids and Phrygia. It's now this. Guess there's been some changes there. Maybe these two have gone to Seleucids. I don't actually know what the exact differences are, but you know, it looks like a border. Borders are cool. I like it. Added country-specific heritage for Ionia, Aeolia, Delphi, Boeotia, blah, 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 blah. I actually didn't know that Byzantium had one, so I would like to go and check that, actually. Byzantine Heritage, Morale of Armies goes down. Oh, why? No. No, no, no. Why would you do that? You've just made Byzantium someone that I never want to play again. Because there are some countries that have negatives that are irrelevant. Increase legitimacy cost, plus 15%. And fucking what? That's this button here. It gives you a little bit of tyranny, you click it, and your legitimacy goes up faster. That negative heritage part is fucking nothing. And the positives are great for Botswana Kingdom. Byzantine Heritage is just trash all round. You save, what, 3.75 ducats on creating trade routes? Your ships are 10% cheaper, and the cost of that is 10% morale of armies? No. Just no. Not a fan. Not a fan. We got cultural heritages for the Achaean, Arcadian, Sicilia, blah de blah, a bunch of people. Lovely. Ptolemy Soter's father and brother has been added to the game. More Greek heritage around the Mediterranean. Adjusted some provincial trade goods. Added a starting set pantheon for many historical countries. Made Agathocles friends with his brother. You've got now a Meroitic culture group. Check that here. I think, in part, this was to change the portraits. Because originally they had Egyptian and Meroitic in the same culture group, and that made sense because they are culturally the same. However, portrait looks are based on your culture. And so to keep the Egyptians being what they historically were, skin tone wise, like the northern Egyptians were quite light skinned, or they're tanned but light skinned. That also made the Kushites, who were historically very dark skinned, that made them very light skinned, which of course was not great. So now they've changed it so Meroitic is a new culture group, and that has allowed them to, of course, change the skin color for Meroitics to be a lot darker. Just makes sense. Where are we at? Reorganized pops in Sparta. Blood of the Archaeads to Neophthalmus II and Cadmea Aegidae. Those are the people we just saw. Chalcidian fortifications modifier to Chalkis. And it gets us a level 2 fort. That's cool. Philia Antipatrid. The people have been added to the game. Cool. Full historical regnal numbers for Epirus and Macedon. Nice. Starting friendship between Pyrrhus and Glaucius of Talentia. Good. Starting rivalry between Glaucius and Cassander. Good. Diversified the starting population of Thebes. Hipparchia's blah blah stuff. Yeah, there's a lot of just minor changes to different characters. The funniest ones are fix the heir of Paeonia being 10 years younger than their father, and removed Seleucus, child of Antiochus and Stratonike, as they were not born yet. Nice. Also, there was one where the sister was wife. There it is. Fixed Hipparchia Marineid being Crates Askinid's daughter instead of his wife. Which, I mean, why not both? Anyway, standardized and updated governor policy tooltips, fine. Added character interaction for revoking a holding, fine. A scheme for heads of family to expand a family estate in one of their holdings. This can be done multiple times to increase the value of the land. I like that. That's good. Cleaned up tooltips, reduced chance and increased cooldown for discreditable dalliance and price of wild oats event chains. I've still kind of got this fairly frequently, like once per ruler. It still seems a little bit too frequent. Price of wild oats, I can't remember what that one is, honestly. Fixed huge air attraction modifier in the brothers event chain. I think that's when you've got two sons and they fight each other. I think. Hid adopt character interaction on dead characters. Good. Archimedes is now in Archimedes. I guess he would obviously be in Sicily, Syracuse. Have we got Archimedes here anywhere? Archimedes, where are you, buddy? He'd obviously be a male. Where are you? You'd expect him to be a researcher, but apparently not. I want to find him. I want to know what his stats are. No, don't see him. Let's actually just reload the game and chuck us in as Syracuse. Anyway, let's move on. More loading screen quotes. Nice. ISIS is now a viable deity for nations who have the ISIS cult. Good, that's nice. Bit of flavour there. Stopped characters from seeking patrons among children. Good. Renaming of Seleucus and Maria to not rely on founding family existing in code. You know what? Fine. Don't really understand what that is, but sure. Simplified opinion modifiers on raise and pillage unit abilities and reordered effects. Purged all remaining uses of omen duration and omen cost. Actually, I think omen duration should still be there, but like lowering the duration is actually now going to be the beneficial one. We've got changes to Greece, that's good. We've got new countries, Opus, Amphisa, Delphi, Elatia, Dime, Pelen, Tegea, Hermione. In addition, Euboea has now been divided between Orios and Etrea. Euboea is now like a province as well, which we can check as soon as we go in here. Cool. So yeah, Euboea is now its own province. Previously, Euboea, Attica is now this part only, and Boeotia. This used to be one big, province. This entire thing was its own individual province, and now it's been changed up, and this is what it looks like now, which is, you know what? I like it. It's good. Changing it up is a good thing. So I like that. But I want to see characters. Is he one of these guys? Where is Archimedes? Is he a governor? Or is he an officer? He's not an officer. Where would he be? I don't know. I don't know where he is. Sadness. Apparently he's in the game somewhere, though. If you can find him. I don't think there is a character finder in the game, though. Which would be nice if there was, but I don't think there is. So, sadness. Much sadness. Where are we now? Large number of new countries in India, and rework the starting event about the Seleucid-Marian War to account for this. Good. Dynamic province names for new territories in the Peloponnese. New Egyptian dynamic province names. Sale in Thrace has been renamed to Maranea. There's actually been more than just the one renaming up here as well. This one here used to be called something like Demetrius or something like Demetria, something like that. Now it's Pagasae. So that's new. Maranea used to be called Sale, as it said in the dev diary. There's been some more just changes around the place, which is cool. It's nice. Correct location of Alexandria, Nicaea, and Arrhaea. Don't know where those were. Ache name for non-Seleucids and changed Etruscan Senna to Senna Razna to avoid duplicate. Razna was the name the Etruscans gave themselves, so this just means Senna of the Etruscans. So, it's fine. Change names in Persia based on beta feedback. Change the start trade goods in Cyrenaica. Improve the accuracy of some province names. Herrera name is consonant with country. Added Nicomedia name if Bithynia owns Astakos. Nice. Fixed an upside down port in Africa. Didn't even notice it, honestly. Travelers from Chios will now no longer directly go to Athens, but will probably go through Thorikos first. Yeah, they went from here to Athens. Now they have to go through Thorikos first. Makes sense. So, got some bug fixes as well. Terran Purple, now you only need 5 surplus rather than 6. Slave revolts that end in unknown territory will now count as ended. That's fantastic. That stops that bloody annoying bug. Experience decay is now not a fraction of a percentage. Fine. Bad controller check when raising pillaging fortified provinces. Fixed pillage option using max instead of minimum now correctly gives -50 each time instead of -200 instantly. Oh yay, that's just great, because that means we're totally gonna get pillaged more. That's fucking yay. The event that gives you a free fort level will no longer fire if there's a siege going on. Makes sense. Added bypass to befriend Ibero and Gaul based on variables set when task is taken. That'll be in the Roman missions. Added bypass triggers to generic conquest missions. Tooltips for capital cities. Checks to prevent highlighting functions being called while parent window is animating should help prevent a crash. Helping prevent crashes, always a good thing. Cooldown for overlords and tributary events. Yeah, you got a lot of money from those, actually. A fallback potential for Hispania and Africa missions in case Punic rivals never appeared. Gender-neutral description for the Olympics. Adriatic adventures now allowed if subject borders Ancona and bypassed if a subject owns Ancona territory. Good! That's something that I had a problem with in my Rome campaign. Annex Apulia now bypasses if Messapi or Apulia is a subject rather than just both. Fixes multiple Archimedes appearing over and over until the world was full of mathematicians. I guess that's why Archimedes isn't actually at the game start. It'll appear soon enough. But only one this time. Fixed new to Carthage mission triggers when they have no subjects. Fixed a food calculation logic bug. Fixed age order of Phila Antipatrids kids. Crateros, then Gonatus, then Stratoniki. Fixed babies making friends and rivals in the Bond of Childhood event. Fixed event being confused about who was who when marrying within the family. Fixed literally unplayable typos. Yeah, I mean, that's great to see. Although I will say that you've also got many typos in this very dev diary. I can show you them. Not that one, actually. There's a typo right there. Urgh. Bloody American fucking. Anyway, fixed treatment, give money to patient. Fixed typos in Inspire Helen. Ptolemaic speech event. Fixed typo in sounding out the opposition. Administration of Asia. Fate of Pergamon. Fixed crash caused by trying to check unit abilities on a unit without location. Fixed crash when trying to access alive data for dead character under modifier updates. Game now uses governorship script list for governorship script list. Not good. That should be yeah, fine. Game will no longer create empty units for revolts without loyal veterans. Issue where generic conquest missions would abort if you conquered the entire region they targeted. Fix the captured Roman illegal event showing the wrong description text. Fix Germania Magna achievement. It no longer looks at the incorrect region. Assaults no longer continue indefinitely if started with too few cohorts. Although Never Ending Assault would be a pretty great heavy metal album title. Not gonna lie, that's pretty correct there. Countries should no longer be able to run out of females or males. Good! Fantastic! Because that was bloody annoying. No such guarantees for zebras, though. Governor wages are now properly taken from the income of the provinces under the governor, reducing what they send to the state treasury by the same amount that the governor is paid. I don't know if that was a bug, but yeah, that makes more sense. Fixed a bug that made province capitals appear in random locations at the start instead of the largest city in the province. Fixed a bug which made scripts that affected province food always failed. Some blah blah, I don't know. Battles last forever if any unit had maneuver of 0. I've actually seen this in the current patch, so I'm not sure that's entirely fixed. It doesn't make them last forever, but what it does is you then have multiple fights. Like every day you'll have a new battle and you'll just be spammed with battle ending notifications, the pop-ups. So I guess it's fixed, but it's not working 100%. An annexed country that revolts or is released again will never appear unless it would own its former capital. So no longer are you going to see things like, for example, one I've seen quite a lot is Polyrrhenia being released in Sparta, and this is still owned by Gortinia or something. So that's good. That's a good change right there. But yeah, that is the dev diary. So that is the patch notes, all the things that will be changing with the Archimedes update, along with all the rest of the stuff we've already seen in the previous dev diaries. It's good. It's good shit. It's good stuff. So let me know what you guys think. I would very much like to know. So pop your comments in the comment section below. Anything you think is missing, anything you would like changed, What's your favorite patch note? Yeah, let me know your thoughts. So pop them in the comment section below if you liked the video. Hit the like button, all that normal good stuff. It's great. So yeah, thank you all very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.